I'll be reading this from the internet, for the internet, and to the internet. It's called Message of the Money. So, I'm just hanging out at home, drinking beers, smoking pot, watching illegally downloaded movies, standard issue American stuff. And some guy comes to the door, comes selling Salvation by the leather-bound bookful, $39.99 for the deluxe edition. He tells me I gotta pay this price to hear a message from God. I tell him plainly, I have a message from God for you. Once you put a price tag on a message, it becomes a fucking product. And it doesn't matter if you worship in a mosque or a synagogue or a church. If you live your life in a way that produces more good than bad, you will find eternal peace. I mean, it's all the same message, right? Packaged for different cultures and different points of evolution. And shouldn't we just let cultures evolve on their own? I mean, we got a president killing in Iraq and hoping for Iran in the name of Christianity. Listen, motherfucker, we're only 200 years old. Iraq is Mesopotamia. Baghdad is fucking Babylon, fool. We're going to go around telling a 2,500-year-old civilization how they ought to run their country. Oh, but they're oppressing women. They're doing all kinds of bad things over there. They cut the pinky fingers off of criminals. Well, at least I know not to do business with a man missing a pinky, right? I mean, we can't tell them how to evolve as a civilization. They are much more advanced than we are. 2,300 years more advanced. Oppressing women, huh? Well, in 1919, a woman couldn't vote right here in America. Less than 100 years ago. It took more than half as long as we've been around to decide that a woman's opinion about who governs her is worth listening to. So if Iraq had invaded us in 1919, occupied America, jailed Woodrow Wilson, and sentenced him to death, that would be okay. Death. Woo! You see, I'm sick to death of death. Death in the name of God. For God's sake, I am tired of your holy war. And it is that, a holy war, a crusade. You can tell because folk singers sing about it and poets are forced to talk shit about it just so the people will listen. And you got Christians telling you that Muslims are evil because their holy book tells about killing for religion. So we got to go kill them for our religion. At least they are religious. Entire cities, entire countries pray together. Here you can't even find a family willing to share a dinner. It's the same message in different books. It's just not convenient for Americans to believe in their book. If you took it word for word, your book says go out and kill too. You shall not suffer a witch to live, Exodus 22:18. The Lord met him and sought to kill him, Exodus 4:24. And the Lord repented for the evil which he thought to do unto his people, Exodus 32:14. And that's just one book of your Christian Bible. These books you're fighting over, killing over, dying for, they're 1,500 years old, and I ain't buying it. Not for $39.99 and not for some $600 billion war chest. I got a message from God for you, and it's 2,000 years old too, and it's free. Thou shalt not kill. Exodus 20:13. Yeah! Woo! Now, in addition to that work, I'm also a very prominent white rapper by the name of Fishbelly White. I haven't done that in 10 years, but because of what Joe did, it made me feel a special kinship. So I will now be doing something I never do. Oh shit. I remember when the kids in the hall were young, and I remember when Nirvana songs had never been sung. I remember Bart Simpson on the Tracy Ullman Show and my Saturday mornings with my G.I. Joe. But you don't even know who Elvis Presley is. You don't remember when the Olsen twins were kids. You don't know STP as a band or a car wax. You're never satisfied with the prize in your Cracker Jacks. Yeah! You've never even heard of a Commodore, but I had a VIC-20 and a 64. I had an Etch-a-Sketch and a sit-and-spin and an easy-bake oven make my shrinky-dinks in. I played Atari and the Sega and the Nintendo, or I listened to rap and watch my chia pet grow. Grandmaster Flash and the Sugar Hill Gang, DJ Quick, Big Daddy Kane and the House of Pain. Insane in the membrane, that's Cypress Hill. I remember Tupac before his ass got killed. Austin, Texas. Knows how to party. Now the best you got, Outcast and DMX, and R. Kelly's in the closet and he's pissing on a midget's chest. Of course you also got your Eminem. After Vanilla White guys shouldn't try that shit again. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. It's as bright as you get on stage, you fucking scandalous bitch. But I digress, and I slow my shit down. Grow one final shout to the digital underground. They help me write and develop my flow, but my sound's laid down by the Casio. First demo, I'm a nervous wreck, but I threw that shit out on my new dual tape deck. I ain't from Compton, but I ain't dumb. They say, Fishbelly White, then where you from? They say, where'd you go to school? Old school, old school. Where'd you go to school? Old school, old school. Messing with me, you know you're messing with an old fool. Okay, I'm gonna do one more thing really super quick. This is gonna be serious and personal and not political and silly. It's called Act Like a Man. When you are being crushed by the weight of an important decision, your friends will say things like, act like a man. I say, need more data. You see, I've only met my father twice, so he hardly counts at all. My stepfather, he was the kind of guy that was willing to trade his paycheck for sex regular for my mother, and mark that momentous occasion with a Sharpie marker and an X on a calendar. And if there weren't enough X's on the calendar for that month, he would raise his voice until she was lowered in the corner of the kitchen floor in a puddle of her own tears. Now there's this guy at the preschool at the top of the hill that plays Old MacDonald Had a Farm for these kids on guitar, and I thought, maybe that's a man I can act like. But my friends are the kind of people that refer to that preschool as a MILF factory. And I have other friends who fuck to feed dysfunction, so I'm not sure exactly where I should look to learn how to act like a man. I sometimes think I'd be better off acting like one of those preschool children, or going back to the days when I was in 3rd grade carrying my Pac-Man lunchbox around. See, Pac-Man, that's the kind of man that I feel like now, like I'm gobbling pills and chasing cherries, running from ghosts in a dark maze. And then I look back to when I was in 3rd grade, and I would come home and I would seek advice and guidance, not from a man, but from a woman, from my mother. When I come home and said, Mom, one of the 10 Commandments says we shouldn't worship anything other than God, but at school they make me say this little Pledge of Allegiance to this red, white, and blue piece of cloth, and I don't exactly understand. It was not a man, it was a woman, my mother, who went to school and pulled the principal across his desk and said, if you ever punish my son for doing what he believes in, then I assure you, sir, that I will return to punish you. She was the one who respected me enough to make my own decisions, even when I was in 3rd grade. She was the one who gave me the strength not to be destroyed and not to bow and bend under the weight of this decision that I have to make now. And when my friends say act like a man, I'll say, no thanks.
God damn. God damn.